Rescuers are on the scene of that building collapse near Miami.
We know at least one person is dead, and it is feared the death toll will dramatically increase as dozens of people remain unaccounted for. Just into our newsroom, this security camera video. Now, remember, this is from an adjacent condominium. Stunning. It captured the moment of the collapse, a 12-story complex simply turning to rubble. It almost looks as if it was an intended implosion. It almost looks as if it was an intended implosion. An intended implosion.
I want to be dramatic in saying that that is quite literally the case.
Yes, 100%.
About 15 feet away.
Why you guys? Why that type of close encounter with death, literally? Why you guys?
I don't know. I mean, it's just faith. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, but they're
in it now in the daylight, seeing the damage and knowing you got out of there. Again, this is a vacation home, your parents' place. You all come down here every once in a while. And Mom, you said you weren't going to say much, but your face and your reactions and hearing the story, I can see the emotion. And I've had someone else just lay eyes on it, and they are kind of overcome just to see what.
Now, we've talked a little bit about how to talk to someone who's lying and how to spot a lie. And as I promised, we're now going to look at what the truth looks like. And I'm going to show you two videos. Two mothers, one is lying, one is telling the truth. And these were surfaced by researcher David Matsumoto in California. And I think they're an excellent example of what the truth looks like. This mother, Diane Downs, shot her kids at close range. Drove them to the hospital while they bled all over the car. Claimed a scraggy-haired stranger did it. And you'll see when you see the video, she can't even pretend to be an agonizing mother. What you want to look for here is an incredible discrepancy between horrific events that she describes and her very, very cool demeanor. And if you look closely, you'll see duping delight throughout this video.
But at night, when I close my eyes, I can see Christy reaching her hand out to me while I'm driving, and the blood just keep coming out of her mouth. And that, maybe it'll fade too with time, but I don't think so. That haunts me the most.
She's crazy about her family and very, very social. Probably the most popular person that I know.
And tell her.
Like, what the F is going on? That was the first thing that was happening. You know, we have.
I was able to hear the boy that was pulled from the rubble yelling. As I got closer, I was able to see his hands sticking through the rubble, you know, waving. And as he was yelling, I responded to him, and I began to climb, you know, the debris to try and get to him. I was in flip-flops at the time, so it made it a little bit difficult to get up.
A few blocks from the rubble, loved ones embracing, holding one another.
Shooting victim Gianna Baca is visiting a special patient, her identical twin sister. The 17-year-old twins were both shot during the Las Vegas massacre.
Everyone was running and hiding underneath tables, and people were jumping on each other.
Gianna and Natalia were enjoying the concert when the spray of automatic gunfire rang out. Gianna was hit in the hip.
I felt it like hit my hip, but I mean,
Really didn't have very much reference of what the collapse looked like, except for what was being shown on TV. But all that changed just today.
It was tragic. It was really hard. See up close. There's a lot of rubble.
Amelia Cordoza and her sister Anisabella saw what's left of Champaign, and the Cordozas aren't the only ones who took the opportunity to visit the site.
The first time that I went to the site, I knew her apartment wasn't there, so I was devastated.
Nicole on
at peace because I know they accepted Jesus as their savior, and they are both in heaven right now.
Can you tell us a little bit about Judy?
Of course. Absolutely. My mom means the world. My mom means the world. My mom means the world to me.
And it's just so unbelievable. If you can hold up, I understand your family found a card that morning. It's just unbelievable. Could you tell us about it?
Yes. So when we arrived on the scene, there was just debris all over the street. And my father, probably an hour or two after we arrived here, he found this card, which has my grandmother's name on there, Hilda. And inside is a birthday card that she just received 2 weeks ago from some friends of hers at a brunch. And so it was just surreal that we found this in such a positive way. And then, we had our whole family there. And so we had a couple family members that found these pictures also in the debris. So this first picture right here is actually of my grandmother and my grandfather in their younger years. And that right there is my father in the middle. We couldn't believe it.
You think about the miracle of the tons of debris everywhere, and to be able to, it just must be overwhelming for you.
Yes, it really was. But like I said, it was in a very positive way, and it filled us full of hope. It just made us realize that our faith in God, He's relational, meaning He loves us, He's there with us, and we felt comforted by His love. Because when we saw this, it really came across like, I have your grandmother.
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
Officials found a passport belonging to one of the terrorists. That was apparently found a couple of blocks away, because when one of the planes, or the first plane, slammed into the tower, you could see it on the video, in fact, debris flew out the other end.
Hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
And it's just so unbelievable. If you can hold up, I understand your family found a card that morning. It's just unbelievable. Could you tell us about it?
Yes, so when we arrived on the scene, there was just debris all over the street. And my father, probably an hour or two after we arrived here, he found this card.
No, there's a clip that's going around right now, and I can get that to your person if they need it. But it's in slow motion, and it's almost like a timed demolition. It's the most upsetting thing you're going to see, and there's a huge portion of that building in the rear. Of course, that's where the biggest part was, because that's where the ocean is, and it just all came down. One part came down first, and then the other part stood up there for a few seconds, and then that came down.
We showed that video last hour on the Faulkner Focus, and I'm going to ask our team here on Outnumber to roll it as soon as we can.
And it's almost like a timed demolition. Listen. but it's in slow motion, and it's almost like a timed demolition.
Whether she's in the rubble or whether she's with me, she's okay, and we found a lot of comfort in that.
Yeah. You still hold out hope that maybe Hilda might be there alive?
Absolutely. I mean, this is not over yet. This is ongoing. I mean, our first responders have been doing such an amazing job. We've had a front row seat. We've been watching.
Okay, there hasn't been one rescue worker trying to actually take off debris, little by little, even by hand, without machines, to actually get people potentially removed.
Site over here, where we are being told that there are hundreds of workers evacuating people and trying to rescue people. This is absolutely not a rescue operation. This is nothing. I don't even consider this a recovery operation right now.
Ongoing. I mean, our first responders have been doing such an amazing job. We've had a front row seat. We've been watching.
We're talking about 160 human beings under the rubble. 160 human beings. There are thousands of people. My cousins are on the second floor. It's at the farthest end of the site, and it wasn't touched. It wasn't touched, and it's still not being touched. I mean, 2 bodies, they took out 2 bodies. I mean, at the rate they're going to be taking out 160 bodies.
Our world is lit up 24 hours a day. It's transparent, with blogs and social networks broadcasting the buzz of a whole new generation of people that have made a choice to live their lives in public. It's a much more noisy world. So one challenge we have is to remember, oversharing, that's not honesty. Our manic tweeting and texting can blind us to the fact that the subtleties of human decency, character, integrity, that's still what matters. That's always what's going to matter. So in this much noisier world, it might make sense for us to be just a little bit more explicit about our moral code. When you combine the science of recognizing deception with the art of looking, listening, you exempt yourself from collaborating in a lie. You start up that path of being just a little bit more explicit because you signal to everyone around you. You say, hey, my world, our world, it's going to be an honest one. My world is going to be one where truth is strengthened and falsehood is recognized and marginalized. And when you do that, the ground around you starts to shift just a little bit. And that's the truth. Thank you.